What's up, Kansas City? I'm your host, Glenn Brian Frizzell. Today we are filming at the historic Lincoln Building in the 18th and Vine District area. Today's special guest is running for the 5th District in the Kansas City Council. We've had him on the show once before. What's up, Kansas City? Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Kenneth Bacchus.
Good morning, or good day, should I say, Brian?
Sure.
Glenn.
Okay. You want to do it from the top?
Yeah, let's do it from the top.
Okay. Did I say Bacchus right?
Yeah, you just said Ken.
Ken.
No, I said Ken.
3, 2. What's up, Kansas City? I'm your host, Glenn Brian Frizzell. Today we are filming in the historic Lincoln Building at the 18th and Vine District area. Today's special guest has been on the show once before. What's up, Kansas City? Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Ken Bacchus.
Hey, good to see you, Glenn, and good to be back with you again, and always great to be in 18th and Vine.
Now you're seeking the election coming up April 7th for 5th District.
Yes.
In the City Council, Kansas City, Missouri.
Yes.
A lot of turmoil.
Well, I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of turmoil. It's just a lot of, what I like about the race this time is that there are a lot of people who really have an interest and desire to serve the citizens in the 5th District.
Mm. Now, was that the case before with the councilman who's resigning?
Well, there was 3 of us before, but that's 5 now. So I think the more, the merrier, as they say. But I think it's good because it brings out different perspectives of what people think the issues are, what the issues are, and how people react to those. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a very good process so far. We've had 2 opportunities to speak to the public, and only one, I think, in the 5th District, and that went really well a couple of Saturdays ago. And we have another. We had our first real debate among the people just running it at the district level this Monday night, the 9th of February, at Center High School Auditorium. Mm-hmm. So that should be really good.
Now, you are running for the 5th District. Coquitha Hill is currently serving as the interim.
Yes.
The seat that Michael Brooks vacated. From what I'm hearing, you are really looking forward to addressing some of the concerns and issues that our citizens are sounding off, making their voice heard. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've heard at the meetings that have taken place?
Well, so far we had a meeting with a lot of just grassroots neighborhood leaders, and they're very clear about what they want. They believe that they're not being served at City Hall by anyone. The mayor's office all the way down to the council office, and they don't believe that people are listening to them. They have not, according to them, they have not seen any real benefit in the last 4 years and maybe even beyond. Items like, if you drive down, I just served on the Jackson County Legislature on an interim period for 6 months back in 2014 from July to December. And we gave away a house in the Ivanhoe neighborhood where Margaret May is executive director of. And we gave a house away, the county did, through our Housing Resources Program.
Was that Christmas?
Around Christmas to a family. And I took the opportunity to drive north and south on all the north-south streets like Wayne, Indiana, Woodland, Highland. I drove all the way down to 45th Street and back. What I saw were many partially burned out houses, buildings that burned, and the fire department put them out, but the charred remains of the buildings still stand. Mm-hmm. And from the perspective of the environment and children, that's an unsafe building to be sitting there that's partially burned out. And I mean, I can't get beyond that, the burnout. We're gave a family a new home, and we're placing their children down the street from a burned out building that if a child being of interest decides they want to try to walk in, the building may fall in on it. So we need to, the community is saying, get rid of these things already. Invest in us. Make certain that our basic services are covered. Come listen and talk to us about what is needed in the city before you go put them out on a ballot, for example. But talk to us about the issues and make certain that the city is in a good financial position to help us, and then come back and make us a priority as you've made other areas of the city a priority.
Now, you've mentioned that. How would you address that particular issue of blight? That sounds like immediate concern.
Yeah, it's actually, it's not that difficult at all. It becomes you have to make the neighborhoods of the Fifth District and the neighborhoods of the city, particularly those where, there's a need for environmental and social issues, where there's a problem, we ought to try to address it. I'm an urban planner by education and experience, and so I am accustomed to understanding how to put public policy in place to rid the community of these kinds of issues. And so you demolish all of the buildings that are partially burned out, because that is actually among the worst things in the neighborhood, a partially burned out building.
And do you rebuild?
And no, because there's no market for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you get rid of the blight. Then you come back and tear down, demolish the buildings that are not worthy of rehab, and you do an assessment of the ones that are worthy of rehab, and you put resources in there to renovate the ones that are left, and create programs and projects. If you have to give the house away, many of those homes are owned by banks, where they're not local. They call basically dead man houses. It means there's no one locally in this community have a financial interest. They're all out some other place. So you find ways you make them a priority, and you handle the issues, and when the market is right, you can come in and build new homes.
Now, KSHB recently reported, and I'm just going to read from a little blog that I printed here. Homeowners in the 5th District said they are fed up and feel ignored by the City Council. They said they won't put up with violence, blight, and filth in the district any longer. Mr. Bacchus, one resident in particular, Mr. Calvin Brown, says they need to drive through the streets, as you said that you've done, and look at the youth that are not working, not
Right.
in school, with no prospects and low education. What can we do for them? What can we do for our youth? What's Up Kansas City? We're advocates of education. We're
Right.
advocates of economic development. What can we do for our youth?
Well, what we do for our youth is what we try to do for our grown adults in these neighborhoods, and we haven't done it. If they've said that even the people who own homes in there and live in the community, if they've not received any assistance according to them, or money's been used a different way, I think our youth becomes a whole different world. And there's a generation Y, the generation the millennials, and now the generation X, I guess, the next generation of people who are under age 20 now. Many of them need training, and they need opportunities for self-improvement. That means opportunity for a job. Many of them need training. There are 25,000 new projected jobs that are going to come in place in the 5th District in the next 20 years. The question is, are we preparing these young people and this generation to be ready to access those jobs? Just recently, the Ford Motor Company are hiring 900 new people. They need 900 new people there. What are we doing? Are they prepared? If you have high dropout rates in high school, can you fill out an application? Can you pass a drug test? And can you get through an interview?
And these are skills these are basic skills.
Basic
that
skill jobs.
have.
And the jobs at Cerner and the jobs at Oxford on the Blue and the jobs at North Point, where they're developing, that's 25,000 technical jobs, skilled jobs too, because they deal with industrial machining and other type work. But you have to have some training and some skills to make that jump. And you can't, even the people who are going to be cleaning up the Cerner campus at night, the maintenance janitorial staff, they have to pass the drug test. They can't have issues.
Now, Mr. Bacchus, we have made everything convenient, not necessarily for our youth, but our youth are definitely being able to benefit from more convenient,
Right.
Faster, quicker. We have computers now.
Just in time,
Everything
right now.
is gone from analog to digital.
Right.
But some would say we're disconnected. We're a disconnected society, that some of our old traditional values we've lost our way.
Yes.
What is your opinion in terms of our relationship with our youth?
Well, our youth, we have to continue to have that relationship. I mentor a senior in high school now, and I mentor a young boy in elementary school. I do that because I don't have children at home anymore. I have a granddaughter and grandchildren, but I mentor these young boys because they need somebody to talk to and to talk to them, and they're very respectful young men. And so we have to find a way to make certain that we maintain that contact and teach them the next steps on how to go forward. But the youth have to have a desire to do something as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to.
And where does that desire come from? Is that nature versus nurture?
It's nurturing, talking, and they have to have an inner desire, an inner self-worth among themselves to want to do something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I still think there's many opportunities, but they have to want to do something. You just can't just not do something. Like I had met a young person in college or training school where they're shelling out money to pay for something who don't want to do something.
And how do we avoid the blame society as a scapegoat in terms of a lot of our youth are coming from disadvantaged economic situations, and they might not want to do good because they don't see mom or dad doing good. You mentioned mentoring.
Yeah, I mean, you do that as well. I mean, I had a very difficult upbringing. I had to take wire from the fence on our fences down on the farm, and literally tie my shoes together where the bottom of the shoe and the top of the shoe meet, and had a very difficult time. Didn't have lunch for school, and had a very difficult time. But you know what? All that being said, in my case, I was still very fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky.
Mm-hmm.
We owned all the land.
Mm-hmm.
Because of civil rights issues, there were other things going on, but we still owned everything.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents always taught us that you can be better and you can do something. And so that has been that mantra of getting off your buns and making something happen in your life, because whoever you see in the mirror, that's the person that you're responsible for. And you have to have desire to do this, to make your life better. And there are people all along the way who help me,
mm-hmm.
and will help them.
Mm-hmm.
I've helped, you help young people.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you talk to them, help them talk about where they want to go. They have to have the desire to want to do it.
Now let's talk a little bit about seeing Kansas City through your eyes. During this campaign, you've reached out, you've talked to people, you've been present at meetings and heard our concerns. But Kansas City is not the Kansas City of yesterday. As you're driving through the streets, you hear of once prosperous neighborhoods with businesses.
Right.
Today you see urban blight. Really what was a gold oasis, a mecca, even here in this particular district, a lot of business people are frustrated with. They've tried to have businesses that have been here and for some reason did not get support, and they've left. Can you address are you concerned with this issue at all? Can you address this whole concern of being frustrated with the exodus of our businesses?
But it's not so much
really our community.
Well, Glenn, it's not so much the exodus as there's businesses are going out of business. I mean, it's that, and they're going out of business. I believe, and we'll work with existing businesses to where they can prosper and be better, and create opportunities for new businesses to come and develop. What we are focused on a lot is bringing in new businesses and giving away new deals, giving away incentives left and right. What are we doing with the businesses that are here? Let's work with them. Let's make them successful. And so we need to work with where people are today, and we need to clean up some of these corridors. I propose and have been working with a group of people in the community to make Prospect create an implementation strategy for Prospect Avenue from 12th Street to 75th Street and beyond. Let's take these clusters along Prospect and the neighborhoods on either side of them. Let's take clusters of these neighborhoods and create a zone, like the 18th Street to Linwood, for example, and then Brooklyn over to Indiana. Let's take that zone and deal with the commercial side. Let's deal with the residential side, and let's make something happen. It's the dollars at City Hall. The reason something happened in the area is because someone make it a priority to do something.
Mm-hmm.
There's not been the priority that we need,
Mm-hmm.
particularly in the 5th District. We've had some things happening in the 3rd, but in the 5th District, there's no priority. We have major institutions in the 5th District, like the hospitals, like Truman and research. What are we doing to make certain they feel comfortable staying and invested in the area they are. If you look at the streets, if you look at the infrastructure there, the two bridges that cross Bruce Rock and Groveway are in horrible shape. The landscaping look bad. We aren't doing what we need to do to make certain that the existing businesses are comfortable staying, let alone trying to bring in new people. So let's help the businesses along Prospect Avenue to be successful. When I did the Brush Creek Corridor plan back in the 90s, it ran from Main Street all the way to Elmwood on Brush Creek. What happened along that street? What happened to then, as a result of that plan, to make it, to create the implementation there to make it a better community? What we did, we encouraged and got Coffin Foundation to build a headquarters there. Star Wars Institute to take the old Menorah Hospital, take care of that old blight and turn it into the Star Wars Institute of Medical Research. We worked with 4963 neighborhood and recreated Trucewood neighborhood across Truce there at Boca. We came east, and then we worked with the people like Emmanuel Family Child Development Center. They improved their properties. Now, then we went all the way out east. Swope Parkway Health Center built a brand new campus, new office building. H&R Block built a technology center. We built a shopping center with a grocery store. And the last one of the last pieces that has been completed is the Shell Oil Station there at 47th Street, at Swope Parkway and Prospect. That's still carrying forth that plan. Why can't we do that for Prospect? We should, and that's what I plan to do. Spend a lot of my time work with the 3rd District Council people, 6th District Council people, and deal with all the blighting issues and all the major issues that our neighborhoods have, from the Missouri River all the way to Grand.
You said 6th District. That's my old stomping ground.
Right.
And you're very knowledgeable about this, Mr. Bacchus. Unfortunately, I do have to wrap up.
Okay.
I do want to find out where you stand on the President's recent State of the Union address and the shrinking middle class quickly, and crime prevention in the 5th
Well,
District.
on the middle class we're losing the middle class. There's very few people around. The reason my father was able to eventually take care of 10 children. He had a good union paying job.
Mm-hmm.
It created
And those aren't available.
And those aren't available as much. And then we need to support our unions because they need better wage. We need a living wage, not just a minimum wage. We need a living wage. And usually the unions provide that living wage. Then regarding issue on the other issue was
Crime
crime prevention. Our police chief and the KC Nova design project, where they have about nine different agencies that are working together. There's 860 or so people in this town who are creating all the crime. They know who they are. They're working with all these communities to help the people first, and the ones that can't help them, if they do something, they put them in jail. They're just not taking it anymore. So they're doing the work that they're doing is a work that need to continue, and we're seeing results. And I think Chief Forte and all the good people at all the agencies, from the Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, U.S. Marshal Service, the U.S. Attorney's Office, Jackson County Prosecutor, all of them are doing a wonderful job, and they need to keep going. And we need, if we know something, we need to call and let people know what we know to solve the crimes.
Very well, and I'll give you the last word. This is Black History Month. Do you have a particular favorite person, inspirational to you?
Yeah, my father and my mother, they are very inspirational to me. Those folks, my father was a chair of the NAACP branch in the county I grew up in, and he made certain that although we were in a minority situation, our voices were heard. We were the first people to integrate to all-white high school. For 4 years, I was the only black person in my high school class. Every day, every class I went to, I was the fly in the buttermilk, as they call it.
Wow.
And so out of that experience, today all of that is integrated. And so my father, who was followed around by the
Pioneer.
was followed around by the White Citizens Council in Mississippi. It's a wonder that he lived to age 85. So that's my hero today, and I salute my dad, and he's gone.
Awesome. What county?
DeSoto County.
DeSoto County. What's up, Kansas City? Make sure that you vote in the April 7th election. Mr. Kenneth Bacchus, it has been very wonderful, very enriching to have you here today. Hopefully you will come back and be able to talk about how some of these plans have been implemented into procedure and policy.
Pleased to be here, Glenn.
Awesome. Check out more video candidate information online at www.whatsupkansascity.net. And remember, the sky's the limit, so aim high. Shoot for the moon. If you miss, at the very least, you would have landed among the stars. Take care until next time.
CMG wants you to always remember, the victory we call success goes to the best prepared. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Thanks.